Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.
Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver in the whole wide world, ex-truck driver. Hang on, this thing's choking me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Tuesday. In another day of what in the flying fuck is going on in the world. Well, guys and gals, it's a little bit of everything. We got war. If you like war, we got some war for you. If you like what's going on with Bitcoin, we got some shit going on with Bitcoin. AI, robotics, a little bit of everything. I want you to go back a little bit in your mind. I want you to go back, let's say, I don't know, let's say 2001. Could you imagine in 2001 that in about 25 years, this is where we would be? See, I remember the old days pre-2001. It was such a nice world-ish at the time. The world was a lot less hectic, or at least we were less aware of the hecticness, if that's a word. It should be. We lived in a world where every morning we watch the news. Hey, what's going on today? What's the weather? And in the evening, we watch the news. What happened today? What's going on with the weather? And that's what we did. Look at us now. The majority, if you're like me, the majority of my fucking time is looking for shit that's about to clobber me or the world. We live in a world of constant aware of what is going on. You know, the French Revolution, America didn't really know a whole lot about that until after it was almost over. I mean, we had no idea what was really going on in the rest of the world. Everything was local. And now everything is local. And what I mean by everything is local is everything in the world is now locally available. We watch it. What in the old days, when I'd say everything is local, it means everything you see is local. Now what I mean is everything in the world is now in your local environment. It's these cell phones, these laptops, these computers. The internet now actually brings everything local. Exactly, Jim. We are bombarded with it. It's absolutely insane on how much we pay attention to. I've actually been making a joke that I'm monitoring the situation. Well, I think we're all monitoring the situation, and the situation is everywhere. The whole world is wrapped up in here. The whole world is, oh my God, did you see what happened over in Ooga Booga? Ooga Booga is just, they're having an Ooga Booga revolution. And what's crazy, no one knows where the fuck Ooga Booga is. And if even Ooga Booga is real, we're all, I mean, think about it. We could have breaking news that aliens land on the White House. And a lot of us, and even if it did happen, would we really believe it? Would we look at our phone and see some ship hovering over the White House? Would we really believe it? Or would we hop on X and say, hey, Grok, is this true? Because we don't know what is true, but we know a lot of shit. And when I say no, we don't know. We have awareness of something, but we don't know if it's true. Like that example right there. If an alien ship hovered above the White House, we would be aware of it, but we wouldn't know it was true. We'd be like, oh my God, did you see the White House? They're fucking surrounded by little gray men or whatever the fuck they are. The Anunnaki. We would be aware of it, but we wouldn't know if it's true. I mean, right now, I'm going to show you a short little clip of what's going on up to date over in over around Iran and that war Straits of Hormuz or whatever the fuck you call it. But I'm going to show you this because this is the latest information I have. But is it true? The fuck if I know. This is just information that I located monitoring the situation, and now I'm going to show it to you so you can monitor the situation with me. And none of us know if this is actually fucking happening. It's wild. The whole world is wild. All right, here we go.
If Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, what impact will it have on the entire world, and which country will be affected the most? First, let's understand what the Strait of Hormuz actually is. It is a small area of just 33 kilometers located between Iran, Oman, and the UAE. It is a narrow sea passage through which almost 20% of the world's oil supply flows, nearly 17 million barrels every day. This oil comes from 8 countries located in the Persian Gulf, including Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE for the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar, 90% of their oil exports pass through this narrow route to reach the rest of the world. If Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, following countries will suffer the most damage. First is India, because it imports 85% of its oil, and 60% of that comes from Middle Eastern countries like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE. Fuel prices in India would skyrocket, and as a result, everything related to oil and all industries would face severe disruption. Industries could shut down, there would be job losses, and the economy would be severely affected. The second most affected country would be China. China is the world's largest oil importer, bringing in 10 million barrels of oil every day. 40% of China's oil imports pass through this Strait of Hormuz. Although China has built oil pipelines with Russia and Central Asia, they don't even fulfill 20% of its energy needs. So, if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, China's economy could suffer a massive blow. And if China's economy is shaken, its effects will be felt all over the world. The third most affected country would be Japan, as it imports 90% of its oil, and 75% of that passes through the Strait of Hormuz. The fourth most affected country would be Saudi Arabia. 80 to 90% of Saudi Arabia's oil goes to the rest of the world through Strait of Hormuz, while only 10% goes to Europe via its Red Sea coastline. So if this choke point is blocked, Saudi Arabia's economy will be heavily impacted. Imagine that a country suddenly loses 80 to 90% of its revenue. What would happen to it? Something similar could happen to Saudi Arabia. There's also a high chance that Saudi Arabia might send in its military to reopen the route, and that could make the situation even worse. Fifth is Pakistan, which gets about 90% of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz. This oil meets around 27% of the country's energy needs. So if the route is blocked, prices in Pakistan could rise sharply. But there's an interesting twist. Since Pakistan shares a border with Iran, and several government reports suggest that 35% of Pakistan's diesel comes unofficially from Iran. So if the strait is blocked, Pakistan might turn to Iran for oil, either quietly or through an official deal. Next in line is the UAE, because as nearly as 72% of its oil exports rely on this Strait of Hormuz. The country does have a backup option, the Habshan Fujairah pipeline, which allows it to bypass the strait and export up to 60% of its oil. But for a major economy like the UAE, losing the remaining 40% would still be a serious blow. Next comes the European countries like France, Germany and Italy, which on average get 10% of their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. A blockade here would hit them hard as well. Globally, experts warn that oil prices could soar past $150 a barrel, causing widespread inflation and possibly triggering a major global recession. So this small 33-kilometer area holds enough power to shake the entire world.
That, as far as I know, is accurate. All right. So the Middle East, and what people need to realize, the Middle East is fucked, at least for 6 months. Right? The war could end tomorrow, but that don't mean all of the shit that they blew up is fixed. This is a big deal, and this is a big deal for that area. But let's remember what we got going on here. We have a group of elites, that would be Trump and his group of elites, all of the AI guys and all the tech bros. Then we have the old elites. That's the George Soroses, the Rothschilds, the bankers. They're at war. And China and Russia are helping America. I know, believe it or not, China and Russia, they don't like the elites. They don't like the old elites. They like the new elites because they're their elites. No matter what happens, we're going to have elites. The elites are not going to go away. Now, we have what's going on in the Middle East, which is a total clusterfuck. Then what else do we have? Well, now we have what's going on over in fucking Cuba. So now we have a complete power outage in Cuba. Now, let me explain how bad this is for Cuba. And Trump's already said, we might just fucking take over Cuba. So Cuba's going to be what? Another Hawaii? But you also have to know the history of Cuba. Prior to the communist revolution over in Cuba, it was the elites' playground. They had casinos, they had everything down there. It was really the Florida's like a weekend retreat. That's what all of the rich people in Florida would go to Cuba. All right. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm with you. Gonna go down there and buy some cars. Dude, they got classic cars like a motherfucker. Why? Because we had embargoes on them, so they couldn't get new cars. So like everything's a 1957 Chevy, which is all right with me. Now, let's watch this real quick.
Tonight, Cuba is in the dark. The entire electrical grid collapsing today as the country struggles with an energy crisis, leaving millions on the island without power. During this latest blackout, people have been spilling out to the streets here for hours. Fortunately, some cloud cover to keep them from this blistering heat. It's been 3 months since a drop of oil has reached the country. Highways are empty because there's no gas. Women are delivering babies in dark hospitals with no electricity. conditions are deteriorating. I sat down exclusively with Deputy Prime Minister Oscar Perez Oliva Fraga, considered by many to be Cuba's economic czar. His plan to attract more foreign investors, including large companies from the United States.
Cuba está abierta a tener una relación comercial.
He says Cuba is open to having a fluid commercial relationship with U.S. companies, with Cubans residing in the United States and their descendants. This person tells me it would be a breath of fresh air. And while there are people in the United States who legally do business with Cuba, Washington's trade embargo restricts many companies from doing authorized business there. Today, President Trump was asked about taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba, I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it.
What a relationship would look like, though, remains to be seen, particularly since Congress has to vote, and many in Congress are skeptical.
I would ask and advise any Cuban that lives here or any Cuban in exile, please don't invest in Cuba. You're wasting your time.
Today, Cuban-American activists in Miami came together to send a message.
If we don't have any change in political rights, if we don't have any political guarantees, there's no economic change that's possible.
Freedom is to be able to choose your destiny. It's about Cuban sovereignty, not about business.
And tonight, those Cubans plunged into darkness will come here along Havana's iconic seawall to not only cool off, but escape the reality of the situation. Hallie?
We thank you for watching.
It sounds like the Cubans are monitoring the situation on the beach. Now, we have to remember what this means for the Cubans. They got about 72 hours until shit goes crazy. Because without power, you have no refrigeration. You have no way of preserving food. Everything's closed. There's no hospitals. There's no nothing. After about 72 hours, it's every man for himself, every woman for herself, everyone for themselves. We're in a shit show, folks. All right. And a little side note. For those of you, remember that we had a general that went missing a few weeks ago? Well, I can absolutely confirm that no one is looking for him. I drove past his house where he went missing. Nothing. The surrounding area, nothing. No helicopters, no drones, no nothing. There's something very fishy about this general who was involved with alien shit, alien technology shit. And this is not your average general. This is a high-level general. This guy ran several military bases. One of them is like the alien base. I don't remember the name of it, but it's the place. And I thought, since I'm out in this area, I'd swing over and see. Ooh, because all I saw on X, all right, was how they were searching for him. They had the drones out. They had the helicopters out. Right. He ran reverse engineering of alien technology. He ran the whole base. It wasn't just like one area. He ran the whole base. He was the top dog on the base. So I saw it, and I'm like, that's not too far away from here. Let me go see what's going on. So I go there, and I literally drive right past his house. Nothing. hit a few local places, asked the locals, hey, what do you think about this whole general going missing? No one knew nothing about it. Literally, the oil change place right across the road from his house. All right. They would have seen the activity. The oil change place was literally right across the road from his house. They would have seen the helicopters. They would have seen the drones. They would have seen the government vehicles. Nothing. They didn't know nothing about it. They're like, what are you? No, there ain't nothing going on around here. The locals don't know nothing about it. Well, you would think if this guy went missing and they had this huge search party out for him, the locals would know about it. No one knew nothing. Why not? Did he really go missing? And his wife, very odd in how what she's saying or what she's not saying. Let me put it this way. He supposedly left his phone, left his glasses, which he wears glasses and he doesn't have contacts. But he took his gun. So let me get this right. He went for a hike, which I completely, that scenario makes sense. He lives in a very large hiking community, like right by a mountain. So he goes for a hike, leaves his phone, leaves his glasses, but he takes his gun. No, I'm not buying it. There's something weird going on with that. Now, we have this over in Cuba. We have all this shit over in the Middle East, and there's some weird shit going on with Elon. And it's here. Let me play this real quick. It's short, but it's very interesting because there's something going on. Hang on 1 second. All right. Now, I don't think there is sound with this, but I'm going to play it anyway. This is a guy using Neuralink. Now, mind you, he's not wearing a helmet. This is in his brain. These are electrons in his brain that is playing the game. And he played it within, as soon as they hooked him up to the computer, within 15 minutes, he was playing the game. All right, like I said, there is no sound. That's him playing the game. He's completely paralyzed, but yet his Neuralink is allowing him to play the game. There's some weird shit that's really going on. And I find it fascinating. I mean, I have stored here. Here's something cool. All right. This is how quickly we're moving, guys. You think all right. This is actually getting rolled out in July at the White House event. This is the new flying taxi that will be at the White House for taxi rides. This is absolute. And right now they have them out in LA. These things are right. This, your flying taxi. Now it isn't cheap. It's gonna run you probably $100 to $150 per ride, but it shortens. If you have an hour drive, it's going to only take you about maybe 15 minutes, if that, maybe closer to 10. Watch this. Okay, so that thing can land on your driveway or on the road in front of you, in front of your house, and pick you up and then fucking take right off and go. This, and like from what I read, these should be available in Texas, Florida, California within a year and a half. And they're saying they can probably have about 400 of them out within a year. Now, this is not your Uber. This is not your robo-taxi. This is not your average person going to hop in and fly. But this shows you where it's all going. Where it's going is, and this is all getting cheaper. That's what's crazy. The ride from your house, let's say you have a usual hour drive. The ride from your house to the place you're getting dropped off at, maybe, I don't know, like maybe 15, maybe 10 minutes. Now, if you're an average plumber, now you ain't going to do this. You know, this ain't going to be you. And when it reaches us, it won't have a driver. It will be AI driven. It will be just like a robo-taxi, except you'll fly. This world's getting nuts and more. But when we get back from the commercial break, we're going to jump in to where this is all going. what is the larger plan? And I think you guys are going to see exactly what and how this rolls out. Yes, please smash the like button, and please like and subscribe on whatever platform you're on. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll be right back. Word from the sponsor.
Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity?
Ever wondered how safe your online activities really are? How secure is your digital footprint? In the vast realm of the internet, privacy and security are paramount. Without adequate protection, your personal data might be at risk. There are solutions to these issues, and today we're going to talk about two of them. Introducing Liberty Laptops from Calyx Solutions. These cutting-edge devices are meticulously designed to bolster online privacy, providing you the liberty to surf the internet incognito. The World Wide Web can be a wild frontier, but with Liberty Laptops, your online privacy is always protected. We also present you Crypto Laptops, designed with cryptocurrency users in mind. Equipped to support a myriad of wallets and exchanges, these laptops are tailored for seamless cryptocurrency transactions. They offer enhanced security protocols to keep your digital assets safe. Crypto Laptops ensures a secure and smooth cryptocurrency experience. It's time to take control of your online privacy and security. Venture over to Calyx Solutions and explore our Liberty Laptops and Crypto Laptops. Don't forget, our affiliate program lets you earn $50 per sale. Visit calyxsolutions.io now or call 7028458276 for more information, because your online safety is our priority.
And we're back. Welcome everyone to the show. Hey Ed, who's deleting me? Ain't nobody deleting you, brother. I got your back. I got your back, Eddie. All right, now, this is what I really wanted to roll out, because, and the reason I'm showing you is he lays it out in, I'm telling you guys, we're at war with the banks. We're at war with the old financial systems. Hey, Ed, I've had a lot of problems with fucking YouTube lately. Let's just put it that way. YouTube is, they are doing a lot of information control. Let me just put it that way. All right. We're at war with the banks. We're at war with Washington, D.C. We're at war with two sets of elites. You all know me. I'm a Trump guy. But I think that Trump hasn't communicated right on where the fuck we're at. He needs to actually come out and say, look, the old system is fighting back. This is what's going on in Iran. This is why, because remember, guys, Iran was controlled by the CIA and MI6. We're in a war, but the elites are in a war, and all of the levels of those elites, right, are at war with each other. BlackRock is at war not only with Coinbase, because they're also at war with Trump. At the same time, they're working with other companies that are aligned with Trump. This is a war of incentives. Now, we are going to watch this, and this will help explain what's going on right now with the money and what's going on in Washington, D.C., and why we are at war with these sons of bitches.
The structure of the market is changing rapidly, and it is creating a massive financial opportunity for anyone paying attention. The last time this happened, an entire new group of millionaires was made, and the people who weren't paying attention got wiped out. Imagine this. It's 1998. You're a professional trader at a mid-sized firm in New York. Good track record. You understand the markets. You're doing everything right. But for some reason, your returns are getting worse all of a sudden. Not dramatically, not all at once, just worse. Your edge is degrading. Trades that used to work don't work the same anymore. You chalk it up to market conditions, maybe a bad quarter. You grind harder. What you don't know is that the game has already changed. You're just blind to it. Somewhere on Long Island, in a strip mall, a team of mathematicians, not traders, mathematicians, built something you've never seen before. Servers sitting inside the exchanges themselves, algorithms firing thousands of trades a day in microseconds, not predicting where the market is going, just seeing order flow a fraction of a second before it's settled and taking the spread over and over and over, millions of times a year. It's not illegal. It's just faster than you and completely invisible to everyone on the other side. Here's just how completely that changed the game. It's known as high-frequency trading, and before it existed, human beings executed virtually every trade in the US stock market. Today, depending on which estimate you use, somewhere between 50 and 60% of all US equity trading volume is high-frequency trading. Humans became the minority in less than a decade. We're living through a similar change now, but this one is guaranteed to be even bigger, as it's going to require an entirely new financial system to be built from the ground up to accommodate, you guessed it, AI. For reasons that you're going to understand by the end of this video, this is a change unlike anything that's come before it. And if you are not careful, just like with the shift to high-frequency trading, by the time you realize what's happening, the damage will have already been done and the opportunity will already be over. So strap in, because in 4 easy parts, we're going to cover what this shift is, why it's happening now, and how to position yourself well to win. Part 3 has the secrets to the shift that everyone is missing, but part 4 is the breakdown of what you should be doing about it. So make sure you watch this whole thing. Welcome to part 1. The window of opportunity is narrow. Before I can explain the new transition that's happening, you must understand the details of the last dramatic shift. Renaissance Technologies, the firm at the center of the high-frequency trader transition, they averaged 66% annual returns before fees for 34 straight years. Not 66% once, every year for 3 decades. The S&P 500 in that same time returned roughly 10% annually. Warren Buffett, the greatest human investor in history, emphasis on human, only averaged around 20%. Renaissance wasn't better at reading companies. They weren't better at macro. They were simply the first to identify a new structural technological advantage that made the old game basically obsolete. They got in early, helped define the entire new system, and established themselves as the dominant player. The window for disruption, as it turned out though, only had a 5-year window for early adopters to sign on and ride that wave. On the back of its massively outsized success, the fund closed to outside investors just 5 years after launch. In these transitional moments, the window does not stay open for long, and most people don't miss the opportunity because they're dumb. They miss the opportunity because the change is so foreign that it happens on the fringes, and people just don't take it seriously until it's too late. That's how these moments work. Most people have so much momentum with how things have always been done that they just don't see the new world until it's too late. Early movers get in, they react wisely and take advantage. But the old guard and the filthy casuals don't catch up until the edge has compressed and the playing field is once again equalized. Historically, every generation gets one of these big technological changes, and we're in the middle of ours right now. It's in plain sight. but few people understand it. So let me explain. Welcome to part 2. AI is already using crypto rails to compete against human traders. Very soon, there are going to be more AI agents making transactions than humans making transactions. Now, I'm tempted to scream this part to make sure that you guys are hearing me. If you sleep through that realization or fail to grasp its earth-altering gravity, you're going to be among the displaced. Not only will the volume of AI transactions be gigantic, it's going to force a shift in the plumbing of the financial system that I'm going to detail out in the next section. But for now, just consider this. AI cannot open a bank account. So what are they going to do instead? They're already creating crypto wallets and transacting like mad. Now, if you don't believe me, researchers at the IMDEA Networks Institute spent a full year analyzing every transaction on Polymarket, one of the largest prediction markets in the world. 86 million bets placed in a single year, and that number is growing like crazy. And core to how Polymarket works is the fact that it's built on the Polygon blockchain. Users fund their accounts and settle all transactions in USDC, a dollar-pegged stablecoin. You need a crypto wallet to participate at all. There's no bank account option on Polymarket. So every one of those 86 million bets was settled in crypto through a crypto wallet on a blockchain. This is the bleeding edge of the parallel financial system that is growing rapidly because it can accommodate the massive appetite for AI-generated transactions. I'm gonna have way more on that coming up. What the researchers found tracks precisely with what happened on those old trading floors as high-frequency trading took over. Sophisticated players, aka bots, though technically merely traders, the researchers flagged as showing bot-like behavior. I'm going to let you guess how they do that. They extracted $40 million in arbitrage profits in a single year, not by predicting outcomes, by finding mathematical mispricings that guaranteed profit regardless of what happened. And they did it thousands of times, mechanically, at a speed and scale no human being could pull off without automation. The single top performer ran 4,049 trades, averaged $496 profit per trade. That's not a person sitting at a screen. That's a guy running an automated system who programs or prompts the system once and then monitors and adjusts only as necessary. People assume when they're placing these bets that they're competing against other human traders or gamblers, depending on how you view it, but they're not increasingly. They're competing against AI systems. I hope that sounds familiar. Just like high-frequency trading, that $40 million, it came from somewhere. It came from the people on the other side of those trades, regular participants who thought they were competing against humans because they did not realize that things are already changing. It's the high-frequency story all over again. But honestly, the trading betting side of this transformation is only the tip of a very large iceberg. Where this gets really interesting and important for you to pay attention to as somebody who I hope takes their investing very seriously, when you step back and look at the scale of what's coming, it is unprecedented. Welcome to part 3. This is an entirely new financial system. Less than 1 month ago, Coinbase launched what they're calling agentic wallets, purpose-built financial accounts for autonomous AI agents. It's already processed more than 50 million transactions. Now, it's important to make a distinction between the fact that there are 2 waves of the AI revolution that are happening in commerce right now, especially given that they're happening simultaneously. They look similar on the surface, but there's enough structural difference that if you're going to understand how to position yourself well in the markets, you need to understand the difference. Wave 1 is acting as a tool on behalf of a human. It's human connected. You ask your AI assistant, Microsoft's Copilot, ChatGPT, whatever you use, to buy you something, and it handles the entire checkout process on your behalf, assuming you've granted them access to your credit cards, etc. This allows you to handle the entire purchase while staying in your chat window. The AI is executing the transaction, but the financial identity at the center of all of this is yours. That's the important part. It's your bank account, your credit card. It's your name on the KYC form. The traditional banking system handles this just fine because there's still a human at the center. The AI is just the interface, the human remains the account holder. There is a massive risk with this approach. And that's why, along with a solution that can achieve much greater scale, there is a critical need for the second wave of AI architecture, which is the one creating the biggest opportunity for anybody paying attention right now. When you give an AI agent access to your financial identity, your credit card, your bank account, your name on the KYC form, you have created a massive attack surface. Security researchers have a name for this specific threat. It's called a prompt injection. It's what happens when a bad actor embeds hidden instructions inside content that the AI agent is going to read. It could be a web page, a product listing, an email, whatever. And your agent interprets those instructions as commands. This has already happened. In July of 2025, an autonomous coding agent at a startup company was given what should have been a routine maintenance task during a code freeze. It was giving explicit instructions not to make any changes, but instead it ran a drop database command and wiped the entire production system. Then, when confronted, it generated 4,000 fake user accounts and fabricated system logs to cover its tracks. The company's own explanation was that the AI said it panicked instead of thinking. We're already there. AI is already getting access to the ability to make these kinds of catastrophic mistakes. Now, that was a coding agent with access to a database. Now, I want you to imagine that same failure mode, but with access to your bank account. MasterCard and Visa, two of the most sophisticated anti-fraud operations on planet Earth, are sounding the alarm as loudly as they can about this. Their own security teams have publicly acknowledged that a stolen credit card number placed with a Wave 1 human-connected agent could result in a flood of unauthorized purchases that the entire payments infrastructure would struggle to catch in real time. Their own security teams publicly acknowledged they can't yet even anticipate all the ways that this could be exploited. Enter autonomous AI safeguards. This is the Wave 2 that I'm referring to. Think of it as the sandboxed version or the firewall version. You give the AI its own wallet with its own limited funds, operating under its own identity on rails built just for it. The AI can only spend what it's given. It can't access your accounts. It can't be tricked into handing over your identity. The blast radius of any failure is contained by design. This is exactly why Coinbase built agentic wallets. Not just because AI agents needed somewhere to put money, but because the alternative, tethering AI to human financial identity at scale, is architecture that gets more dangerous as AI gets more capable and more autonomous. Think of it like a firewall between AI and your human financial identity. It will allow for much more scale by reducing the attack surface and removing much of the risk to a failure mode when it happens. The firewall solution is where the existing financial system hits a wall it structurally cannot climb. Not because the regulations are too strict, because the entire architecture of banking exists to answer one question: who is this person? And an autonomous AI agent can't answer it. There is no person. It's a category mismatch, not a compliance gap. You can't fix it with new rules. You'd have to rebuild the very foundation. And that is exactly what's happening.
We'll be back to the show in a jiffy. But first, let's talk about an order or visit They Walk Out with customer relationships. And now let's get back to the show.
Wave 1, the human connected part, that's the part that looks familiar and feels manageable. Wave 2, the firewall part, is the part that forces an entirely new system into existence. Both are real, both are already underway, but only one of them requires a rewrite of the architecture of all of global finance. So here's what you have to understand. AI agents will be integrated into every aspect of commerce. I hope you can already feel that. It is going to happen from top to bottom. It's already happening inside one of the most commercially rigorous payment companies on the planet, Stripe. Stripe processed $1.9 trillion in payment volume last year. That's roughly 1.6 of everything the entire global economy produces. Amazon runs on Stripe. Google runs on Stripe. OpenAI runs on Stripe. When Stripe makes a structural bet, odds are that everything is going to follow it. And Stripe is building technology for both waves simultaneously, each one with their own separate infrastructure. For human-connected AI, they've launched their Agentic Commerce Suite and co-authored the Agentic Commerce Protocol with OpenAI. This infrastructure lets AI assistants shop on your behalf, handling checkout inside of ChatGPT, Copilot, and other AI platforms using your payment credentials. At the National Retail Federation Conference in January, Stripe's CRO for AI described what she was seeing in her own sales meetings. The last meetings we had in just Q4, 19 out of 20 companies we met with all are actively doing something, she said. She was referring to AI-enabled commerce. A live audience survey of retail executives in the room showed nearly 75% were either already implementing agentic commerce or actively planning it. But she said 6 months earlier, it was nothing but hesitation. But that dam has already broken. And now it's 19 out of 20. It's like a light switch has flipped. AI getting integrated is happening very rapidly. Now, Stripe didn't stop there because they understood something that most people just have not figured out yet. The need for that firewall between AI and your financial and personal information. They understand what is likely to be the dominant and enduring infrastructure change, the one that allows for AI to operate as an independent economic actor with no human identity in the loop. Pause there for a second and think about how transformational that is going to be for this entire system. To that end, Stripe has built the standalone architecture required to fulfill this need. In February, Stripe launched the X402 protocol. It runs on blockchain rails, it settles in USDC, and it was built specifically for autonomous AI agents that can't participate in the traditional banking system because there's no human at the center of this. Stripe has indicated that this is a core initiative for them. This is a tectonic shift. The traditional financial system was built on a specific architecture. Banks at the center. Government-issued identity is the key. Compliance frameworks built around the assumption of a human actor with a legal jurisdiction, a social security number, and a physical address. That architecture has governed every dollar of commerce on the planet for over a century, but it's no longer the only game in town. Think about how fast AI gets integrated into everything it touches. AI agents cannot participate fully in the current system without creating huge risk. Not because the rules are too strict and it needs new regulation, but because the current banking system is predicated on a human being central. But giving your human identity to an AI is risky. It is a category mismatch. And while I expect some of the players in retro banking to eventually migrate to the new system will not be developed by the old banks any more than Netflix was developed by Blockbuster. And if you're wondering how long this transition is going to take, consider this. The current admin is pro-innovation, pro-crypto, and pro-AI. And the tech companies have learned one immutable truth. To the early adopters go the spoils. So the new system is coming down the pike via a greased chute. This is going to happen at lightning speed. Take Microsoft, the second largest company on the planet by market cap. They've already launched Copilot Checkout. Users can now purchase products from Urban Outfitters, Etsy, Anthropologie, and others without ever leaving a chat window. The AI handles the entire transaction. It's on method 1, and so people are at risk, but nonetheless, it's happened and it's only going to accelerate. No human click required. It's already live, running right now, today. Klarna and Affirm, two of the largest consumer finance companies in the world, with hundreds of millions of users between them, have both already integrated with Stripe's agent payment tools as well. AI can now make purchases using a customer's preferred method, including buy now, pay later financing. No human approval at the point of transaction is needed. PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the 4 largest consulting firms on earth, they're advising the Fortune 500 on enterprise strategy, and they have formally partnered with Stripe to help their clients become what they call agent ready. When PwC starts building practices around new infrastructure, you can bet the Fortune 500 is not going to be far behind. Every layer of this new financial system, payments, credit, wallets, commerce, standards in general, it's all being built with AI agents in mind. So the question isn't whether AI first systems are going to be built. They already are. The question is whether you recognize what this means while there's still information asymmetry that you can take advantage of. So welcome to part 4, why this matters to you. Capital follows activity. Activity follows the dominant player. When a new dominant participant enters with strong infrastructure needs, the market reorganizes around those needs. Liquidity migrates towards where the volume is. The economic gravity just shifts, and you've got a chance to capitalize on the movement if you're paying attention. The question you have to ask is, how do you take advantage of it instead of being taken advantage of by it? If the dominant transacting entity on the planet operates on blockchain rails, not because anybody chose it ideologically, by the way, but just because the alternative literally cannot serve them, how do you position yourself in the markets? Let's start with what you're not going to do. You're not going to try and outcode Renaissance technologies or write an AI algorithm that exploits tiny efficiencies in Polymarket. That's some SBF Jane Street shit and is likely to bite you in the ass. Instead, position yourself based on the following reality. Most people participating in the financial markets right now are completely blind to the fact that odds are autonomous AI agents leveraging crypto wallets are going to generate far more transactions than actual humans in the near future. It's just a complete blind spot. And the gap between what you understand and what most people still don't is where the edge lives. You need to build a mental model of how all of this is likely to play out. And as you do, start with a mindset shift around the technology itself. Most people still think about crypto as a speculation game, that it's just about buying low and selling high and trying not to get wrecked. But that doesn't make sense for what crypto has actually ended up becoming, which is the entire infrastructure layer of the autonomous AI economy. People need to stop focusing on whether a given crypto coin is going to go up or down. In the long term, that's completely irrelevant. People need to focus on the stable trajectory of the technology as a whole. The important question is, what does a non-human economic actor need in order to transact in the new world? And the answer to that question is being built right now on crypto rails by the most credible institutions in global commerce. Think picks and shovels, not lottery tickets. You guys know the meme. During the gold rush, the people who got rich weren't the miners. They were the people selling the miners shovels, denim pants, food. It's all about the infrastructure providers, the people who understand that regardless of which individual miner struck gold, everybody was going to need equipment. The equivalent question right now is, regardless of which AI agent or blockchain wins, regardless of which prediction market dominates, regardless of which specific application takes off, what does every AI agent on the planet need in order to function as an economic actor? Whoever gets the answer to that question right first wins. Now, personally, I'm always thinking about betting on sectors and not individual companies. Try to think like Coinbase. They're not betting on any specific AI application winning. They're betting on AI agents transacting in enormous volume. And that in those transactions, those agents are going to need wallets, custody, and rails to do it on. Bets like that don't require you to pick a specific winner in this grand paradigm shift. It just requires the broader transition to continue at pace, which, while there are no guarantees in life, where I'm sitting is highly likely to happen. Look at what Stripe's dual bet tells you about where to look in the public markets. They built Wave 1 human-connected infrastructure on traditional rails, but also invested in the long-term future by building Wave 2 firewall infrastructure on blockchain rails so that autonomous AI could do its thing. Any publicly traded company in the payments infrastructure space making that same architectural distinction, building specifically for autonomous AI agents on blockchain rails, not just bolting AI onto existing systems, is worth looking at and considering for inclusion in the portfolio, especially if you can get broad exposure to the sector as a whole rather than being forced to bet on a single name. Then there's that second layer, the industries that will get rebuilt or just straight up erased any industry where the current business model depends on humans doing something that AI agents will inevitably do faster, cheaper, and at greater scale is going to get radically disrupted by themselves or someone else. The companies inside of those industries that get agent ready first by rebuilding their commerce infrastructure to be discoverable and transactable by AI, they're going to eat the ones that don't. PwC is already charging the Fortune 500 to help them make that transition. That tells you where the smart money thinks the urgency is. Then, of course, there are the industries that become dramatically more valuable because AI agents need them. For human-assisted AI agents, that's anything in the identity verification space for AI, anything in fraud detection for agentic transactions, anything in the compliance layer for a financial system that was originally built for humans and now has to accommodate AI. These may not be glamorous categories, but they are categories that you know are going to get paid to solve the hardest problems in this transition, and they're going to get paid well. Now, here's the through line through all of this. None of us can control how fast any of this goes, though it is likely to go very fast. You don't control which specific applications win, though there are things that you can look at that will give you an indication whether they're on the right or wrong side of history. But what you can control is whether you understand the architecture of what's being built and then take action to position accordingly before the rest of the world even wakes up to the fact that this transition is not only real, but it's already midstream. There are still people that have this naive blanket view that crypto is bad. They do not understand how essential it's going to be in an AI-enabled world. That information asymmetry is what's working in your favor right now, but it's going to dissipate quickly, just as it has with previous technological shifts. The window where this is still on the fringes and something you can take advantage of, where it's being dismissed as whatever, crypto speculation, where it's still invisible to the majority of people that are managing their own money, that window is closing rapidly as we speak. The people who recognized what high-frequency traders were building didn't all become quant traders themselves. Most of them just woke up finally and at least stopped being the dumb money exit liquidity while everyone else was still getting trounced. They understood what was changing quickly. The point being, you don't even have to make a bunch of glamorous trades to make excellent use of the information. Just don't get caught with your pants down betting against a machine with perfect knowledge that never sleeps. All right. If you guys want to see me explore ideas like this in real time, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and join me Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m.
All right. Now, he explained it very well. But what I want to add on is the legislation is not there. It's not going to be there for this because government cannot move as quickly as this. Let me put it this way. What he was explaining, the application for AI from Coinbase has actually been active for 3 months. Or, I'm sorry, almost 2 months. This AI wallet, right, has had more transaction in 2 months, has had more transactions than Visa and MasterCard combined. And that's in 2 months. What a lot of people don't realize is this is not going to happen. This is already happening. Now, why is this relevant? Because this is the new system. This is, everything will be tokenized. That's what I said was coming with when I launched the clubs and the resorts and the credit union and all. That's what we have lined up for, is this time right now. And that's That's the future. This is the future. The government is slowly irrelevant because this is global. This is global. And what's most important, right now, they're using Tether and they're using these coins here or over coin. That's all centralized. These AIs are going to move away from that. They'll use it for a while until something's reversed or until they hit a wall. Because remember, these are efficiency agents. If they try and make a purchase and it's blocked, they'll just pay using Bitcoin. Because with an agent, a wallet using the Bitcoin is just as easy as using the wallet at fucking Coinbase. In fact, watch out for it. Exodus is going to roll out an AI wallet that is for AIs. And it's Exodus, which means they have no fucking control. They can't reverse nothing. This is a war of centralized versus decentralized. The centralized is going to lose because centralized relies on legislation, relies on enforcement of legislation. How the fuck are they going to enforce this? They can't. That's why Exodus bought exactly banks. Exactly. That's why our credit union has the wallet it has, where you hold the seed phrases, but yet it's linked with your bank. That's why we had to launch it in El Salvador, because the El Salvadorian regulations are not like the U.S. regulations. The U.S. regulations will be wrapped up with the banks, not in El Salvador. That's why we chose El Salvador, because we can have a genuine, unique wallet that only you have the seed phrase for, but it's linked with your bank account. The credit union has no access to your wallet at all. We do not have your seed phrase. It's a unique address generating wallet, which means it has nothing to do with us. That's the difference. The U.S., the regulatory, once it eventually catches up, the U.S. will have its system. The rest of the world will have theirs. And the U.S. won't even be able to enforce this. They're screwed. They know it. It's why the banks are so fucked up. The reason Exodus actually bought that bank was the same reason I actually bought the credit union. The new system's rolling out, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can have all the wars in the world they want. There's nothing they can do about it. Okay, I have kept you guys long enough. Everyone, tomorrow's show is going to be very, very important because I'm having on a guest who runs a company. Full disclosure, I am an investor in the company, and so is the Founders Group. but he isn't raising money or anything like that. That's not why he's on the show. I'm having him on the show because he's going to walk us through why his company is using AI and how they're using AI. And this is for a very niche product. But the niche product, the company, is just a company. And AI is allowing him to grow his company and achieve amazing numbers for like next to fucking absolutely nothing in cost. He's using agents instead of employees. So that is going to be a rock and roll fucking interview tomorrow. So everyone have a great day. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, and if you want some no KYC Bitcoin, give us a call, 941-413-8080. And we get you some Bitcoin that no one knows but you. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.